How's it going, everyone? We have the PlayStation Plus Essential lineup for the month of August. Obviously, the extra catalog is going to be updated later this month, but in this video, I want to highlight 10 games that I would recommend you to play in the month of August. Obviously, August is kind of important because some major games are also cycling out, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, let's talk the new Essential game that I personally would recommend you to play. That is Dreams. If you guys have been following this channel for any length of time, you know that I have been absolutely complaining about the fact that Dreams not being a PlayStation Plus extra title, essential title, was just a complete misfire and one of the most baffling things I've seen, especially because the game's support is ending. Why did you not offer this as a Plus title while support was continuing? The world will never know, but at least it's available now, and obviously with Dreams you can still enjoy all of the creations that everybody else made. More creations are being made regularly. It's a game from Media Molecule, so you know that creativity is at the absolute heart of the game, and as somebody that's not creative at all, I am still able to enjoy the Media Molecule games greatly because they do a good job of letting people accentuate their creativity, people that are way more talented than me in that regard, and I get to enjoy their creativity. Very much similar to what happened with Little Big Planet. Nevertheless, Dreams is now available as a Plus Essential title, and I'd highly recommend you to play it. Next up, okay, now let's talk the extra catalog. Yakuza Zero is rotating out of the catalog. It's available for $5.99 right now, but if for whatever reason you don't want to buy it, please go and play it on PlayStation Plus Extra. Get into the Yakuza franchise because it's a franchise with so much depth and so much enjoyability to it. Obviously, it's a little bit of a daunting franchise to get into because there are so many games. The games can be fairly lengthy, especially if you're trying to do everything, but the games themselves are so good. You've got a fantastic main character, a great soundtrack, great storytelling. The only thing that might push some people away is the lack of English voice acting in the early titles, so, you know, if that's going to be a deal breaker for you, I get it, but nonetheless, I think most of you guys can look past that and enjoy Yakuza Zero. The game leaves Plus Extra on August the 15th. You've got about, you know, a little over a week and a half or so. That's enough time for you to get into the game. You can probably complete it by then, especially if you have a couple free days where you can sink in a considerable amount of time, especially if you're not looking to do everything. So I would say go ahead and play that before it rotates out. Next up, some of the more recent additions to Plus Extra. I do want to note Undertale is a game that I would highly recommend you to play. It's a game that I understand why some people can't get into it, but if you're a fan of throwback RPGs with some pretty interesting thematics and darker thematics, Undertale is a game that I recommend everybody at least give a shot to. Obviously, it's not going to be a visual delight comparatively to some of the RPGs coming out these days, but I think as far as its story goes, its dialogue, those elements are really well done, and I would say, you know, now that it's available just as a part of a subscription service, why not at least give it a shot and see if you can get into it. The Ascent, another game I would recommend. It is currently 70% off for $9, but available on Plus Extra. This is actually a game that I played when it initially came out as a Xbox Game Pass title, and I enjoyed it back then. A very nice setting, a cyberpunk setting. If you like sci-fi themed games, you'll enjoy this. Visuals are quite nice. Does have co-op, so if you do want to play with a friend, that option is available as well. I wasn't crazy about the story, but I thought the gameplay was quite good, and I would say as a part of a subscription service, a nice playthrough there. And then also recently added SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. I mean, I'm a SpongeBob homer. I grew up with SpongeBob, so obviously a game like this is going to resonate with me more so, but if you have any interest in playing this game, you've probably, you know, you have some attachment towards SpongeBob, and as somebody that did, I really enjoyed the game. It's also fundamentally like a well-made game, and I had a fun time with it. It's not blow away by any stretch of the imagination, and if you go into it as a non-fan, I think you will just find a relatively mediocre game, but as a fan, I think you'll end up enjoying it a lot more, and it's a nice addition to Plus Extra. Alright, some of the other games available in the catalog that I do want to give a shout to. Child of Light, I think, is a game that everybody should give a shot to. As far as Ubisoft goes as a publisher, they are not everybody's favorite. They put out a lot of games that are just so much of the same with all of their outings, but back in like 2014, they had a year where they put out Child of Light and Valiant Hearts: The Great War, and both games are well worth playthroughs. Child of Light has an awesome art style, fundamentally a pretty simplistic RPG, but it's a good one from a story and a design standpoint that I would say it's well worth a playthrough. I imagine that a lot of you guys at this point don't even remember Child of Light, but it's a game that I would strongly recommend, and one of Ubisoft's better published games in recent memory, in my opinion. Next up, Frostpunk Console Edition. Would give this a shout. Frostpunk 2 obviously in development, and it's a game that I'm very much looking forward to. You know, these style of games really aren't my cup of tea, generally speaking. The city builder survival game style of titles aren't really my cup of tea. However, 11-Bit Studios has such a dark thematic to their games, especially with, you know, titles like this War of Mine and Frostpunk especially. They are very grim, very dark in tone, but that honestly creates a more immersive and engrossing experience, and that's what you'll notice out of Frostpunk. It's a game that, yes, it's got that survival style to it, and the gameplay is very much like that, but it's got this tone and this emotion attached to it as well that I feel like it makes it a very engaging experience, because there's a lot of decision making you have to make throughout the game that makes it a little bit, you know, tug on the emotional heartstrings, so to speak. There is a sizable amount of additional content, and obviously as a plus extra game, you don't get the bonus content, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but still the base game offers a sizable amount of content, and looking forward to Frostpunk 2. Hopefully that does turn out well. Next up, Ghostwire Tokyo, which is on sale right now. It's down to sub $20 as a part of the summer sale, but Ghostwire Tokyo is a game that I really enjoyed. Did it have its issues? Absolutely, and was it worth a full $60? Probably not. Got a review copy thanks to Bethesda hooking me up, and I enjoyed it in a lot of areas. I thought the gameplay was really good. The different elemental abilities, that was cool. The ambiance of the game, excellent. Visuals, excellent. Sound design, excellent. Narratively is where this game has issues, and it starts off rather good and rather engaging. It's just, you don't really get a nice resolution, and ultimately it just seemed like a lot of the plot threads didn't have satisfying conclusions and satisfying closure to them, which is a really sad part about this game, because I think Ghostwire Tokyo had a lot to like. It is more of an action game rather than a horror game. The horror elements are absolutely there, but very action heavy as well. Sizable amount of content here as well, with an open world and a lot of optional content. The side content is kind of mid, so keep that in mind, but overall I had a great time with Ghostwire Tokyo, and as a plus extra title I definitely would give it a shout. Also just got its major update in Spider's Thread, and that adds a sizable amount of content as well. Next up, we have Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. I've been talking up this game ever since it came out. It's a very, very good action flight title. The soundtrack in this game is criminally underrated, and I think one of the strongest elements of this game. Gameplay is over the top as all hell. I am not a big fan of the Ace Combat story. Like, it doesn't really grip me, and a lot of the, you know, a lot of the stuff in this game from a storytelling standpoint really didn't hit home with me. I was kind of just going into it for the gameplay, and I think a lot of you guys will feel the same way, but yeah, if you never played an Ace Combat game, go into it with for the gameplay, and you'll have a great time with this. And lastly, do want to give a shout to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. That is available on PlayStation Plus Extra as well. Great Metroidvania title, solid amount of replayability. If you're a fan of Castlevania, Bloodstained's going to be something that obviously hits home with you. And even if you're not, if you're into Metroidvania games, action-oriented titles, Bloodstained will be a title I think you will enjoy. And hopefully we'll get the follow-up to Bloodstained at some point. And, you know, hopefully this is an IP that's here to stay for the long term. But that's going to do it for me. Again, PlayStation Plus Extra has been a solid, you know, catalog of games for the entirety of the year that it's been available. Hopefully later this month we'll get a solid round of updates as well, but that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.